Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Monday Night Clears. Here, as always, Small Nixie with co-host,
Me, Saturo at Orlick.
and of course, reoccurring co-host that was away but is now here permanently as long as we can keep her caged up.
Yeah, it's me, Emma, Ninja, or Goro, or whatever you want to say.
The woman of many names.
Yeah.
And we have the troublemaker himself, mentioned many times but never appearing here so far, the small one.
Hello, it's Eshor.
And we are in the bin.
No, you are.
Well, I would say we're in the bin, but we actually progressed pretty well tonight in raiding.
Yeah, but
Like,
we are still in the bin. We'll always be in the bin, no matter if we clear or not.
Great
Yeah.
team name in the bin.
yeah, but
Yeah.
we should have a
Yes.
discussion about that in a second. But I would like to know a little bit more about Escher first. So, Escher, what got you to this point? Start as long back as you want. Start at the beginning of the universe if you want, or start with the only thing that matters: you.
Well, when it comes to MMOs and everything like that, I started out in World of Warcraft. I tried out the beta back in the days. It was in 2004 or something like that.
He's old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I didn't decide to actually play directly at the start. But I went into the game a bit later on, where I started playing Gnome Rogue because, hey, yeah, I'm gonna play my Gnome and I can be a rogue and I can backstab people in the knees. Yeah, you heard right, the knees.
Hamstring.
But yeah, I got to level 18 or something like that when my friends that I was playing with was like, nope, we are re-rolling Horde. So,
Horde for
yep.
life.
Well, that was like, oh, well, fuck that then. Change server, going to Horde, and was like, what the fuck I'm gonna play? I go for the Druid.
Ooh, what race?
Tauren was the only
oh,
the
yeah, of
Druid race
course.
at that moment, if
I'm
you
stupid.
except for the Night Elves.
Yeah, okay, so you were a big... Wait, so you went from, like, the smallest to, like,
To the
the
biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of weird for me too, actually. But of all the races at the point that the Horde had, the Tauren was the most that told me to play it. So I started playing, and was a really casual play at that point.
Yeah.
Leveling up and was like, yep, no, didn't do much more than that. And then I joined a guild called the Champions. Truth to be told, I can't actually remember why I remember it. But when I was like 56, just on the Blackrock Depths dungeon, and my guild master was asking me, "Do you have any healing gear?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a few pieces. Why?" Well, you're coming to Soul Group now.
Oh, no.
What? Yeah, so level 56. I was in my first raid ever.
Oh, wow.
Back
and
when
I-
Soul Grub was a raid. Wow.
Yeah. But there were two problems for me.
Okay.
One, I didn't have the gold to respect to Resto, so I went in as a healer, as Furl spec.
Oh, no.
Problem number two, I only had the half gear of the healing.
So,
The rest was tank.
and problem number 3, you were not max level yet.
Yeah.
So, how did
Oh, we
that
can
go?
literally add number 4 to that, actually. I didn't know how to heal either.
So, how did
I
it go?
actually had to learn to heal in that raid.
I mean, some say that I never learnt to heal.
The raid after that, I actually pressed myself to get some gold and spec resto and farmed gear for resto.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to 60 kind of fast because everyone loves a healer, but not a druid. But I managed to get groups anyway.
Yeah.
So the raid after, I was 60. and started to out heal the priest and everything in my group. That should be that should have been possible as a druid.
Yeah.
But I managed. I actually crushed all the healers who I was playing with, both in Sulgarub, Molten Core, and Ankrai.
Wow. So you're essentially an MMO prodigy from back in the day.
When it comes to healing, yeah, I would actually say that.
That's actually insane.
So after that, Burning Crusade went out.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually was thinking that I'm going to raid more seriously.
Ooh.
And got into one of the top guilds on the server at that point.
Do you remember the name of that one?
High Council.
Okay.
So I was in 3D raids or something like that when I actually pissed off the guildmaster.
Okay.
I out-healed him with at least 3 times over him. And has around 4 times lower overhealing than him.
That's insane.
He was mad as fuck. He kicked me out of the guild after I logged out.
Wait, for being better than him?
Yep.
Was he like 12?
Now I think it was around 30.
Okay. Yeah.
I was
It checks out.
16 or 17 at that point.
Well,
Yeah. So so I was like, oh well. Got into another guild that was doing 25 man too. I don't remember that part guild though. But I started out gearing my balance druid in that point instead of the resto, and actually my tank. So I had the best tank gear when Serpent Shrine Caverns and Tempest Keep was the thing, and
Okay. Yeah.
then some shit happened to me, both IRL and in both in the guild I was in. I was like, I couldn't stand it anymore, so I changed server.
Oh.
And on my new server, that was I was starting to hardcore raid, on the real level, highest level.
Yeah.
So 6 times, 5. Let's see, you have the mandatory raids 5 times a day. 6th day was farming day.
Mm-hmm.
Think like this. I was a druid. I was herb. I farmed herb 6 hours straight in the same zone.
That's insane. But I guess when you're playing at that level, you kind of need to be ahead.
Yeah.
And the only way to get ahead is put the hours in.
Yeah, the guild bank was actually standing for everything. The pots, repairs, everything.
Yeah.
So we all farmed for it too. And then you had the optional raid on the 7th day of the week. But it was optional.
That one was
Except if you
optional.
got an alt class that's 8, was 70, you have to be there.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Never
And
level up.
and I have leveled up my hunter at that point. So it was like, we're missing a DPS. Moonyear, you're the one that's gonna to DPS with your hunter. I was like, fuck me.
I mean, free gear though, right? Right.
Except it was a pure alt run, so yep, everyone needed the gear.
I know, but it's, DPSing on WoW is standing and pressing 1.
Yeah. But my druid has been my main up until the Legion.
Wait, really?
So up to there was when Legion was released, I actually changed from my druid for the first time as a main to the demon hunter.
Okay.
So
Why?
I actually played druid for about 12 years in a row.
You must have been incredible.
I was top 10 in Europe at that point, and I was actually 28 druid in the world.
You were incredible. Okay, yeah.
he was not in the bin.
But that was
What was
back
that,
in the
Emma?
days.
He wasn't in the bin.
He wasn't.
Not that time.
No.
But after Legion, I was so pissed off at everything that a few shit things happened, and
Yeah.
the guild was disbanded, and I was like, I don't want to play anymore. It was throwing World of Warcraft to the bin.
Yeah.
So after playing some single player games, mostly Final Fantasy X, uh,
Oh yeah, you've got like 8,000 hours on that, haven't you?
yeah, PS2, PS3, PS4, Switch.
That's mad.
But the funny thing, since when I was playing WoW, I actually tried out Final Fantasy XI in the beta,
Mm-hmm.
but my friend didn't like it, so I didn't play it either. And then 14 came out. I was like, hey, I'm going to try the beta too. And that I did. And actually liked it. But my friend didn't want to try it. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to play by myself because I don't know anyone that's like Final Fantasy. So I actually didn't try it out when it was released. So but I was still reading about it from game magazines and everything that like that they are loving the Final Fantasy 14. The community is lovely and everything like that. So yeah, at that point I decided to fuck it. I'm gonna play it now. Screw it. I'm gonna be alone. I will just play it.
Yeah.
So I started out with playing as a Lalafell. Could you imagine that?
What a surprise.
But on the Phoenix server, and I was starting out as a Thaumaturge.
Traumaturg.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to level 18 or something like that at that point, and then was like, I wonder if there are any Swedish community or something like that. I have no clue that if it was a thing or not. So I went on Facebook, checking out, and found Final Fantasy 14 Sweden Facebook group, and found out that Nordanvind, one of the big, largest Swedish FCs,
I was in that FC.
Yeah, it was on Odin, and I was like, I'm on Phoenix. Fuck. Oh well, then we start the new character then. And that's how Eshor Coshor was born.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I leveled up to I think I leveled up to 24 or something like that. And then I thought that maybe now I can actually join the FC when I'm a bit higher level.
Yeah.
And so I went out to the Nordanvind Facebook group and got invited. And got a bit bullied because I didn't ask for it for an FC invite directly.
You didn't ask for what, sorry?
An FC invite directly.
Oh.
Because it was like, you're welcome regardless of your level. And I was like,
Yeah.
whoops. I'm so used to the WoW community about that you have to be at least this level at this point and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh. That was imprinted in my head for a long time.
Yeah, I think that WoW does leave that kind of impression. Like, WoW tends to be a lot more serious in, like, the communities tend to be a lot more strict and a lot more like, oh, well, like, if you're not good enough, you can't really join certain groups.
The thing with WoW at the good times that I'm saying was that the community was awesome.
Yeah.
It was one of the best communities I've ever been into, except for Final Fantasy 14. But everyone was helping each other out, and if anyone has had a problem, we can actually sit back and talk to the player and to try to improve it, improve him or her.
Yeah.
But one step at a time, the Blizzard changed so much that you could buy your gear, they should open up the server so you can visit others, and so they kind of server merge, but
Yeah.
and
But
that kind of destroyed the community slowly.
also with the looking for group system and stuff, you didn't have to like interact with people as much, so there wasn't as much reason to build a community. You could do almost everything except for like the hardcore stuff as just like a solo player.
Yep, and the sad thing about the Dungeon Finder was I was playing Balance Druid and joined the Party Finder back in TBC. I could actually be kicked from the group because I was just a Balance Druid because I didn't have any CC.
Yeah.
I actually was kicked directly from the start. I could be kicked from the group.
Oh no, of course.
What?
That like Dungeon Finder, when you know when you queue up and there's a rogue in your party and you see the vote kick from the healer and it's just like it's a rogue. It's like what? Nani?
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, after I joined Northern Wind, I actually tried to talk to people on the TeamSpeak that they had at that point.
Yeah.
And got to know a few people like Minsai. So yeah, Minsai in our FC current FC, Minsai is the only person that I actually knew in Heavensward.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I was starting out too.
I think when you joined, I hadn't come back from my break after my raid group thing.
I actually think that when I joined, I think it was a few weeks before, after that, your group disbanded. That you were kicked.
Yeah, like my group was still going, but I had taken a break because I was like fed up with stuff and I didn't feel like playing.
Yeah,
and
because I remember talking to Gia at that point, and he didn't play the game at that point.
Oh well, okay. Well, if that's the case, then it must have been after they disbanded. But they didn't disband long after I left. Like I think they must have gone on for max a month or something.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or got kicked or whatever.
And if you want more on that story, check last week's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so I was leveling at the point when I was in the Heavensward expansion. I think I was in Sea of Clouds at that point.
What class were you?
Lancer.
Oh,
Dragoon.
Ooh. Yeah, if you were a Lancer, you were gonna get bullied.
Yeah, I was. But yeah, so when I was playing in Sea of Clouds, me and a few others from Northern Wind was doing maps.
Okay.
And I was talking to them over TeamSpeak and was like, what are you guys doing? That's so fun! Because they're laughing like hell, literally. And they told me about maps and things like that. And then they asked, what level are you? 56 or 57? I think I was at that point. And they were like, yeah, should be enough. Got an invite. I was like, huh? We're going to gonna grab you. So they actually picked me up because I didn't have a flying mount at that point. And so they bring me to the map party. And that was their lucky charm because I think it was 4 times in a row we got to the lowest part.
What?
Yep. And they actually, Eshor, you're a lucky charm. Point the way. And I got the right 4 in 4 portals. I got right all the time.
That's mad.
Yeah, but Minsai, who was playing tank at that point, was looking at me and was like, you're gonna get aggro now, because no one was literally touching the mobs when they came out. So I ran in a big circle as a Lalafell in Dragoon gear and was like, don't kill me! I was sprinting, running in a circle with all the mobs behind me. It was a dangerous conga line. Everybody kills Eshor. Everybody kills Eshor. Yeah, it's kind of scary as fuck, and it was funny as hell. Yeah, that's how I learned more people when playing.
So you just got invited into a random party because you were sort of in the area?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then they took me to For an Extreme. My first extreme I ever done. And was scared as hell. And oh god, how much I died there. I was like, where's the fucking safe spots? I couldn't see them. Oh, you should stand there. And I was like, huh? Boom. Dead. Oh, look, it's the Dragoon. It's dead again. What a surprise! We have a floor tank with us.
Okay.
And the eye and everything like that. Fuck
Yeah.
me.
That fight was pretty complicated.
Yeah,
It was good shit though.
But on the second kill we had, the mount dropped and I got it.
That's extra luck then.
Yeah, I was really lucky and was like, I have my first ever mount drop and it's a bird.
That must have been insane.
For me, it was real awesome. Every time I summoned that mount, I think back of the good memories. Literally.
I wasn't even in the game at that point.
Oh.
Neither was I.
But then, when Stormblood was about to be released, I decided to abandon the Dragoon and going White Mage.
Back to your roots as healer.
Yeah.
Healer that uses like nature magic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it was for me. The White Mage was the healer that I actually was liked the most because I don't like to use pets as the first. I literally don't. And then number 2, I hated the Astro from the start. I actually hated the Astro class since Heaven's Word. And I still do.
But, I mean, Astro at the start of Heaven's Sword was terrible, right?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible, but it's like, it didn't have... It was just because, like, it was like, oh, the hybrid class of these two.
Yeah.
But you would still prefer to have an Astro because how the card worked.
But I swear that, like, it received tons of buffs over the first couple of patches that made it to be in...
Yeah, but like
the
that
god
was
tier it was back in Creator.
Yeah, well, he I don't think he reflected on the Astro until like very, very late. Very late Heaven's Ward.
Yeah.
Right, Eshor?
I think that. Yeah, I
Because,
didn't
you
read
didn't
about
play
so much on the Astro.
Yeah, and you didn't play like in the beginning of Heaven's Ward, right?
Nope.
No. So
Okay.
it was very quick that they fixed the Astro, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's just I've heard stories of release Astro being like the worst class in the game and people being like, well, it's just like, why would I ever take one?
Yeah, I remember, but when I said to the one that I was playing with that I was going to White Mage, and it was like starting bullying me because the White Mage was the weakest healer of them all. They are not supposed to be in a race because the Scholar
Who
has
said
the a few people in the Nordanvitt.
They're stupid because the White Mage has always been the strongest.
Yeah, but they
Like,
didn't
you
have the
always-
super shield like the Scholar had, and Eos or Celine. They did, and it didn't bring any cards that they actually increased the DPS for the whole group. The White Mage was really strong in the healing, like the AoE and everything like that. But compared to what the Scholar gave the group and the Astro gave the group, the White Mage was in that point the worst.
Yeah, but
No,
no. The argument
the
is sound, but the issue is White Mage has always been the best at progression, and then later on you replace it with the Astro for the support abilities. Like,
Yeah.
That's how it's always been since I started playing, where it's like, yeah, you want White Mage for progression because it's just like that reaction healer, where like something goes wrong and it has an answer to it. But then when things are on farm, people are like, why are you bringing a White Mage? It doesn't provide anything. Why are you doing this? But now it's a lot different because of the amount of damage White Mage is able to put out on its own. It's now the Scholar that is in the bin.
Yeah.
But then the Stormblood released, leveled up my White Mage, and dedicated myself to level up as fast as possible. So I got to the 70.
Yeah.
And started to get gear and everything like that. I actually did everything right for once. And got invited from a guy called Salran. He invited me. Yeah, he invited me to join his raid group for Omega 1 and everything like that. Yeah. So I went in doing that. For me, completely blind.
Yeah.
Because the others, except for Salran, had cleared it already. And they weren't the talkative bunch. They actually just don't die.
Okay.
And you're a healer too, so keep everyone alive and DPS. And was like, a healer doesn't fucking DPS, you moron.
I remember.
Did you hear my evolve healing healer personality goes there?
I remember though that for Catastrophe, we were raiding together and healing together.
Yeah, I was coming there.
Yeah.
You're going too far ahead.
I don't know how much you have to say.
He has a lot to say. He's telling
Yeah,
I'm old, you know. I'm old. So yeah, that raid group though disbanded because the others went in Party Finder to get to Coshor as fast as possible, while me and Salaran was like, but shouldn't we be able to join you guys for the first fight? And they were like, go Party Finder so and clear it that way, and then they join us for the O2. And we were like,
how a raid
what?
team works. I'm so mad. That makes me so angry. Like,
yeah, and that was my first raid group in Final Fantasy.
but you should have. Wait, no, we were already. Wait, no, we had a spot probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
I you guys.
But it got better after that.
No, we had a tank spot that I could have filled as Dark Knight, and you could have been the healer with Ellie. It would have worked out. Why didn't you come to us?
Well, yeah, but I think it was. I took actually a break after that, and came back a few weeks later, and then at that point when I logged in, our best friend Seth and Quote logged in at the same time after their break after release.
Ooh.
So I think it was Seth, I don't remember. We were going for an expert roulette, and I was like, yeah, I can join, or something like that. So me, Quote, and Seth went in the expert roulette.
It's Temple of the Fist, right?
Yeah.
I know this story.
Yeah. And we were sitting on the TeamSpeak and was having fun because we were talking about all the things in the fucking world. Like we have been that we have known each other for how many years?
Yeah.
But then we came to the second part, the second boss, and I was like, I have a rescue here. So you know the second boss in the Fist of Father, where you have the
not the
sun
Fist
and
of the
moon.
Faster. Not the Fist of the Father. Temple of the Fist.
Temple of Fist. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you know the sun and moon sigils.
Yeah, where you have to go and stand on the platform that has the same symbol as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the moon sigil, and Kvote and Seth had the sun. And I started, then I see that the Kvote was going to the right place, and then I pressed rescue.
Ooh,
So he went over to the moon sigil and died. He was instantly one-shotted.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth starting to yell at Kvote in full force that you're stupid thing, you were in the right place, why did you go there? And Kvote was like, I don't know what happened, I just flew over. And I'm sitting there.
Was that the first time you were evil?
Lord
Yep.
of Mischief. Eshor.
So my first ever kill was Kvote.
Wow. Took you a whole expansion.
It still was in the beginning from Stormblood.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I started playing with those guys, and then actually Minsai and Ayumi started to join us for when we're doing trials and normal raids and everything like that. And yeah, Minsai and me have terrorized Seth since then as healers.
You've forgotten about me there.
Emma,
No,
we haven't came to that part yet.
Oh yeah. I was with you before Ayumi was.
Actually, no.
Yes.
Nope. Because me, Seth, Minsai, Kvot, and Aya was actually talking about the raid group, but we were still missing people for it.
No, because you hadn't like formed the raid group when.
Yeah,
I first
exactly. We
talked to you.
hadn't formed any raid group at that point. That's where I was going to. I didn't go to Facebook at that point yet. But our actually first raid wasn't with you, Emma.
Mhm.
But you came actually kind of week after, something like that. And that was Seth that actually. But Emma's online. We can try to ask her.
And then you appeared.
Yep.
Because I was playing a lot with Seth at that point, so that
Yeah.
sounds very weird. That's how
But
it went.
because me and Minsai was actually healing before, then when you joined, when you only had the Astro at the point.
No, I had a lot of classes.
Yeah, but you wanted to play on the Astro, or I think it was Astro.
I was
Yeah.
playing
Anyway,
Astro, but
where Minsai switched to Dark Knight at that point, so you could heal.
I mean, it doesn't matter if things are slightly off. We can sort out the actual facts later, or just assume that things happened.
It's me and Emma's a small bickering. It's lovely.
he's just old. He can't remember things
That
correctly.
too. Anyway, then that's the kind of start of it, where I started learning to know these people, and literally ended up with we started our own FC.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my history from LF4, Final Fantasy 14, and before.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
To say the least. I think that it's amazing that you were so good at WoW, and like now you've raided on every single role though, right?
Yeah.
Like in Final Fantasy, you've played healer first. No, yeah, then you played tank,
Paladin.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're playing machinist. Is machinist the first DPS you've raided on?
Yeah, it's actually the first.
That's crazy. But
The truth to be told is that I don't like actually to DPS. in MMOs since because I was bullied when I was playing World of Warcraft.
So was I. My paladin couldn't do more than, I think it was 4k DPS in Cataclysm, and people were like, "What are you doing?" And I don't know, I'm pressing buttons. And I went full vitality on my paladin, and I was like, DPS.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a bad DPS in WoW either. I had my Arcane Mage that did extremely good DPS in Lich King.
Oh.
But I still prefer my Druid at that point.
Yeah. So, out of all of the roles and stuff you've played, which is your favorite? Like, do you prefer to tank, heal, or DPS?
That's actually a really hard question because at this point, I really love my Machinist and the DPSing. But I love to tank because I can control the fight where I'm main tanking, and that's what I like the most about the tanking, to control the fight.
Yeah.
The second best part of it is to actually kill people. And when it comes to healing, I really enjoy actually providing the healing, the support that the other needs. So, and I have rescue too. But yeah,
It
it's
means
a
you
really
can kill
hard
people
question.
you like it.
So, but if I should go at this point, DPS, tank, healer, at that order.
So you've changed a lot over the years, then.
Yeah.
So you've been playing MMOs for like 15 years or more at this point.
Yeah.
That's like half of your life you've been like
dedicated myself to the MMO.
Like, yeah, hardcore games. Because as much as like we meme around and we're casual players, anyone who plays an MMO is a little bit hardcore, you know.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
You can ask Emma about my hardcore leveling in the beginning of an expansion.
Yeah, you should. Like, someone should probably be there to like shoot him with one of those tranquilizer guns.
I mean, when Stormblood came out, I was still homeless. So I went to a friend's house for 4 days, I think it was. And, you know, obviously the first day Ruban blocked the way, right?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, when he become a little bit easier to navigate at like 1 in the morning that night, I got through him. And I may have stayed up for like 42 hours. There was a moment, it was so hot that day, I was like, I genuinely thought I was gonna go into a bad place. I was sitting there like, but I got in the second day of Stormblood, I was 69
Nice.
on my Machinist, because I always level Machinist first. The issue was that Stormblood Machinist on patch 1, no one wanted it.
It was garbage at that point.
I was not allowed to play it. So the next day, after getting 80, I finally got a place to live. But I still didn't have internet for 2 weeks, so I went to my grandma's for 2 weeks. I leveled White Mage in 1 day, and I grinded, and I became a White Mage main again, and I was like, I really wanted to DPS, because at that point, we were missing a DPS for our raid team. So I was like, I can just play a DPS this time, and it'll be new. But I didn't want to let my team down by playing Machinist. So I leveled up White Mage, and I healed with my friend Ellie, and it was good. I liked Stormblood White Mage a hell of a lot, even though their level 70 skill. What was it called? It's in the game now, but it's got a different name, I think. It was the thing where you pressed it and it put a buff on people, and then when
Planetary Indulgence.
Planetary Indulgence, that thing was awful. Like,
well, if you timed it, actually really timed it, it was one of the fucking best heals in the game.
Yes, but to actually
the AoE wasn't didn't get an AoE damage at that point
Yep.
that you actually had to use it,
Yeah.
except for the Savage part raids.
Even Savage, I found there were very few times when it was like, oh, it lines up perfectly. It would be like, oh, it just fell off.
Yeah, but those times were still more than the other things places.
Yeah, so I was like, well, that move isn't on my bar anymore, and we killed the first one, 01, in the first night. We did a lockout in a bit, and then on the second day we cleared Catastrophe, and then I've never cleared Halicarnassus.
Same.
I really want to. For the longest time, it was the only Savage fight in the game I hadn't killed.
Well, I remember when we were doing 01S,
Mm-hmm.
we had a very good tank with us that has cleared everything at that point. And he literally failed the clamp all the time.
Clamp.
Yeah.
Clamp's an amazing
There's a comic about that.
Yeah, I love that comic.
I made a meme where I put the lizard from that fight in a bathtub because our friend,
Lizard.
the Levin-Bolt lizard, I put him in the bathtub because Clamp was called out as Dean in the bath because if you get hit by it, you won't show up for 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's what Dean said. I'm going for a bath and didn't show up for 2 days.
But when we were raiding, we cleared the OSS kind of fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the Catastrophe. That was the first time I actually hit the wall for the part.
Really?
We had a bit problem with the up and downs and the knockbacks.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, we got Sarah with us that.
The first AoE. Everyone surviving good enough with okay health, and Sarah was like, she died directly. We actually had to get out of the raid to meld the vitality on her gear.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was at the time when I was already melding Vitality because I really respect having enough health.
Yeah, but literally had to do it to make her survive that fight.
If Vitality modes were still a thing, every single class other than tank would have had Vitality modes this tier.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
Yeah, but yeah, that was. But we got the 2S down a few weeks later, and then I don't remember, but we stopped the raiding at the point because Byaku was released before Sigma, right?
It was released at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and everyone was like, we're getting our Byaku weapon before we go into Sigmascape.
I did. I got every single Byaku weapon before going into Sigmascape.
But we were going totally blind on Byaku.
So did I.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go blind.
And I was like, let's go blind! Because I was the raid leader at that time.
Yeah, because I was like, we're gonna be stuck here, like, for weeks and weeks. If we're going in blind. You're like, no, we're gonna figure it out. I'm like, okay.
I want to go blind next tier.
Me too.
You've got me with you, Emma. There's no way a mechanic isn't.
I don't want to do it as well.
The sad Emma there.
You know that I'm the best on progression.
Yeah, whatever you guys say.
There's nothing I can't.
Together.
Yeah. And if we get stuck, we just look it up. It's not that deep, you know.
No, I will actually prefer to try a blind run.
Well, I mean, I would say that if we spend a couple of weeks wiping to something or we don't understand something, then it's okay to try to look things up. But I reckon that we can clear at least up till the final fight blind in a tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would take quite long.
But we have 6 months of a raid tier, and if we're all still together,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We met you 3 weeks in, and then it took us a few weeks to actually get the roster sorted out to the way that it currently is. So, I would say that we started. I would say that it took about 6 weeks before we ended up with our current group.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I joined.
Yeah, you should be. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding.
But genuinely, I believe that Blind will be more fun, like more content, and
Yeah, of course.
like I don't know. I love the feeling of going, okay, what if we try this and it sounds completely stupid and we do it and it works and then we look up the video after of other people clearing it and their mechanic the way they're doing it just isn't as good as us and we're like, heh heh heh.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
I know why we were stuck so long. Before we skipped Sigmascape.
Yeah, because we were
Because we were stuck on Byakko, and then all of a sudden people were like, "Oh well, we might as well do Tsukiyomi as well because."
yeah,
You were
and she
stuck-
was released too there.
You were stuck
At
for
a po-
3 months on Byakko?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think it wasn't 3 months, but it was so fucking close to Tsukiyomi being released. So it was like, let's go Tsukiyomi instead. So so the second raid content with the Sigmascape, we actually didn't do because we had the trials, the trials instead.
Yeah, and these guys insisted on going in blind, and I was like, "I want to die, please stop."
I mean, if we do go in blind, if you ever want to die, then we will stop going in blind.
Yeah.
No, it was just that like it took like a very long time for people to figure out what to do. Like that's fine, I guess, but people
If it
started
take-
fighting with each other, and
it-
that's what I didn't like.
Yeah, but if we're doing a trial blind and it takes us 2 weeks to kill it, we're looking up a guide. Like I'm sorry, like I'm not dealing with like more than 3 weeks of prog on a extreme trial.
And that I respect.
Like extreme trials are casual content. They should technically be clearable in 1 or 2 lockouts.
I remember the fucking fiasco on Tsukiyomi with the fucking meteors. I wanted to die there. Like the argument, you know what I'm talking about, Eshor?
Yeah. It ended up with checking the guides,
Mm-hmm.
and I think me and Seth was on the right. I think you had this right thinking too, Emma.
But I
about
didn't say it because I didn't talk about it until we had like either like finished the poll or like finished the raid.
Yeah,
Partly.
it was after we finished the raid that we three actually talked about it at least.
Yeah.
And then when people's like, let's check guides, and was like, oh, they were right.
But what you didn't have back then was your small Nixie to carry you to victory.
One of the best things in Shadowbringers is actually when I met you and Luke.
That's one of my favorite things about it.
Same.
Thanks, guy.
I'm not kidding, because
Yeah, I generally believe it.
to know you two is actually one of the best things. And then we have the other guys, Max and Ellie in a small bit there.
And Bill.
Yeah, Bill
Mate,
too.
Bill, like, when the next patch comes out and the new trial comes out, Bill will be back. Because every patch he comes back for like 2 weeks and he's like, oh, I'm going to really try this time, guys. And then, like, a week later, he's like, oh, I'm going back to play WoW. But at the start of every expansion, he goes super hardcore and then gets angry. He's currently 2 out of 2 raid groups destroyed in the first patch of an expansion.
Wow.
I didn't enjoy the rule we had either in the raid group back then in Stormblood.
Which of them?
That everyone was supposed to shut the fuck up, except for like you.
I actually like that role.
Nah, it was mostly because me and Seth could do the. We had the healers to talk about when with the healing callouts, and then me and Seth for the tank callouts because of the tank switch and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And because people were actually talking in the actually wrong places mostly, and we actually wiped so many times because of that. That's why the rule came out.
Yeah, but I like our current way of doing things where we just kind of banter and then like the bosses die anyway and like Sana says the most wonderful things every single pull and like
Yeah.
Tits.
It was actually one time where me and Eshor got into a really huge argument about that rule.
Yep.
I mean,
I was
Oh,
so close to
God.
telling him to go to hell.
you should have. He'd have said, "I'm already there. I'm a Lalafell."
Pretty much.
No, legit, because he was like telling me, like people were talking, and I just responded quickly to what people were saying.
And I actually
and then
put
he
it
yelled
out on Emma instead of everyone
Yeah,
else
yeah, he
because
yelled at only me.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Like-
I actually admitted to her after that I actually did.
Yeah,
forgot
like
that.
it took a day.
Yeah, but you didn't want to talk to me either that night evening too. So
No, because you were being like really fucking rude. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you.
But
Wow.
yeah, I like our current dynamic. I really don't like those raid teams that are just like, oh well, we go in and we have to like sit in silence and listen to call outs. Like I can do it, and in some situations, it like for that one perfect pull, it sometimes works. Like if we're really struggling and people are getting flustered, that one perfect pull where someone just does the call outs like cleanly, it feels like the DPS goes through the roof. Everyone's focused. Everyone's like trying their very best, and there are times when it is just like amazing in terms of
But honestly,
gameplay.
I enjoyed this more.
Oh, this is the
yeah.
best. Like
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
I love when someone says like, oh, it's like raid wide damage, and I just echo raid wide damage, and like, you know, like,
Kaboom!
I loved the time, like, yeah, I love just the random shout outs and like breaking into song mid pull.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world, and
same.
But
honestly,
one of the
even
best thing that I actually enjoyed the most when we had cleared the 007
Mhm.
and went into Shiva just totally blind just because to look at her, and then the first AV, boom!
Everyone died.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a highlight for almost every single group that has gotten to Shiva.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest with you, I saw that raid word coming out and I was just like, they've not mitigated this at all. I pressed I thought, should I, like, in my mind, while I was behind the boss, I was like, should I reprisal this? And I looked at it and I went, no, I'll let them learn. Because, like, being on Kefka, like 2 years ago, when Light of Judgment is cast, the healers back then were like, "Eee!" Press every button. Tanks, are you mitigating? Summoner, where is Adol? I use it to make Bahamut attack. What?
Yeah, it was at that time too.
And like even
Uh.
with as much mitigation as I, as a scholar, could get out, we were left on 10% every single time. It was like insane, and that's why when I saw the thing cast, I was like, this is gonna be it, isn't it? This is gonna show them what Savage is really about, and everyone's health hit 0.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lovely highlight for me.
Yeah. But
But
yeah.
I remember when I actually did my first raid with you guys on Tyr and Shiri. I literally was so fucking scared to do that fight because I'm literally going in blind almost. I just checked the guy one time. I was like, eh?
It'll be okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, time to do this.
And then we got to enrage on your first pull.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, it's
close
not
to it
good.
anyway. Yeah.
but
I
I'm,
mean-
and the only thing I heard, Eshor, where are you going?
Yeah, always running to me and Kata. We were
Oh,
like,
God.
I mean, no matter what content it is, the shout out of Escher when you're running somewhere you shouldn't be is like a highlight. Like, I don't know, it's almost like a catchphrase of like we have so many catchphrases now. Like do the thing, Morpen's well, in the bin, Luke going down Circus Tower with a bag of glass, Luke DCing.
the big toe.
Ugh. Yeah,
big
ha ha
toe.
ha, IDC.
It used to be me.
Har.
It's a fucking meme now, look. You just have to accept it.
Tits and
Yay.
ass being call outs. Vibe check. Where did vibe check come from?
It's just vibe check.
Like this.
Yeah, it's just vibe check.
Okay. I'm surprised every time and I love it. And then like just all of the different things, like the morphin noise with the horse and like have you got time
Running
to
Man.
talk? Running Man, mate. Running Man was in the video
Hey,
with
Running
Bill.
Man. Yeah.
Mate, like we have so many weird things we say that like the bacon as well.
Danger Bacon.
Danger bacon. Like we have so many stupid and wonderful things that are said that I think that like
But literally, if we were going for only those call-outs, I would literally wipe the raid so many times because I was like, what did this mean now?
well back then we didn't have as many of those call outs. It's
Nah,
only
just-
but then how about the partners and then slide mechanic?
Oh,
Oh, partners and slide. Yeah.
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 I
Oh,
did fuck up on that part. because,
Yeah.
hey, I'm following Luke now.
I'm like, clockwise, Eshor.
yeah, there's just so many like I think that the personality and the like silliness in our raid I don't think you could get that anywhere else.
Probably not.
No.
Like we are the right level of stupid and like you know what I haven't said in a long time? I'm no
Oh.
longer retired.
Oh my
Yay.
god! Yay!
Nixie has come out of retirement and become small again.
Oh
Yay.
damn.
No,
yeah.
Luke only needs to be small.
No.
Yeah. Whatever.
But, you
But
guys
there's something about Eshor though
Oh?
in raids and in content,
Oh?
and I'm like, do you hate me,
No.
Eshor?
Yes. If you say this, I'm going to hate you more.
Well, Nixie knows what I'm talking about because it's a topic.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
indeed a topic. So, Escher,
Yeah.
every single time you tank, or even when you have an opportunity, like in 07? No, not 07.
Yep. Yeah.
E7,
Yeah. What? Oh, E.
E7.
Yeah. E. Sorry. E. Yeah. Yeah.
E7.
Yeah.
You take your opportunity to kill people, mostly Emma.
Well, I actually have done it with purpose once.
Well, no, but you want to do it. Like, if you were tanking, that laser beam would have been targeted dead set on Emma many times.
Well, truth to be told, Emma is only my second target. I have my first target always.
Seth.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been punished in a
A
long
victim.
while now.
He
Yeah.
hasn't been punished.
It's not
But I haven't
punish. It's
been
not a
tanking
punishment.
for a long time,
It's
too.
victimization.
Thank fucking God for that.
We'll find him a AOE in the next extreme or
No,
something to put on
no,
him.
no, no. I'm out of the raid group.
Please don't. If you're out of the raid group, I'm out of the raid group.
But
Well, the best thing is when I'm tanking or healing, I literally, if I'm playing with Seth, he always gets something that he hates. Oh, look, he's doing his opener. Rescue.
So
Oh.
basically, we've got to keep you on machinist.
DPS. Yeah.
And I think it was Arboretum Hard there in Stormblood.
Yeah.
When me, Emma, Seth, and I don't remember the fourth one, was doing it, and I was like, Seth, I'm gonna shirk you, and Seth was like, yeah, shirk me, just do it then if you dare. And I was like, okay, shirk, and there comes the tank buster.
And he died.
Directly, and Seth was like,
And
fuck this, I'm going AFK now.
Yeah, it was like he didn't want to take the rest or anything. I'm like,
he just went AFK.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a hero.
And I was just laughing.
and I was mad.
Yeah, Emma was so mad at me at that point.
Yep. And he likes to do it in Alliance raids as well. He's like, oh, Tankbuster's coming. I see. Okay, Emma's standing there and Seth's standing there. Nice, I can cleave them both.
You remember our both?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do.
The second boss, I was like, I'm the main tank. Oh, this looks like a tank buster.
I'm gonna keep
Turning the
raid.
boss totally and killed everyone in the raid. And
Everyone
everyone was like,
was like-
what?
Die, Eshor, please die.
And I was laughing as a fucking maniac at that point.
Do you see how evil this person is? He calls himself an angel.
I'm an angel in
Definitely not.
disguise.
No.
I'm really looking forward
Definitely
to
not.
going and doing the new 24-man.
Same, but the Eshor
trial.
can't tank it.
I will be the main tank.
No, you will not. I will
You can
not
tank
do
it,
it
I
with
don't
you.
care.
And Nixie is going to play his machinist at that point.
Am I?
Yeah, we're switching. I'm going on my paladin, and you're going to on your machinist.
I'm not going into that raid with you, Eshor.
I need you to come.
We need you, Emma. And Seth. If you have Seth, you're fine.
Not sure about that one, no.
We'll figure
Don't
things
stand
out.
with Seth, though.
You know he's gonna watch this, right?
Yep.
Like,
Seth, you have been forewarned.
Seth,
Oh, wow.
the weirdest one was like week 2 or 3 of this podcast, and we were talking to Seth, me and Saturo, and he went, "Okay, so I'm gonna mute you guys, and like I'm gonna mute myself," and we were like, "Okay," and he's like, "I need to go watch the podcast," and we were like, "But we're right here,
Yeah.
like we're right here chatting to you." It was so weird. But you know. It feels weird to have people actually like watch this. Like this is just me having fun with you guys and like almost making a like time capsule.
Yeah.
Like we'll be able to look in at this in like 5 years when you all hate me. And
No,
we won't do that.
I mean that's what someone very close to me thought until recently. You know. But
well, what the fuck?
I don't know if they're on Bill's friend list though, because that's usually the marked for dead.
Right. Yeah.
If you're on Bill's friend list, you're probably gonna hate me sooner or later.
No, I will never hate you, Nixie.
Okay, well, you know.
You have to
Time
work
will
for it
tell.
then.
just wait.
Yeah,
Nixie is making plans already.
You're
I'm
such
not
a
making
dude.
any.
Give it next year.
Yeah, next year you're gonna hate me, and you know. But
Emma will hate you if you put me on tank or the healing.
Yeah.
but then I've
So-
got a tank again. All right, I'll stay.
I
Paladin.
feel like I would trust Eshor on tank.
I wouldn't.
I
But
wouldn't.
like
After being paired with him this tier, I have
by the
grown
way,
to have a lot of
about
respect.
trusting, where the fuck were you on the last try?
Okay,
Sama.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I kind of panicked and just saw someone who did have an AOE marker, and I ran at them, and it just happened to be Sana and not you. I'm sorry.
And there I'm standing on my right spot and was like, I'm all alone.
I'm like, Eshor, where are you? Oh, on the right spot.
yeah, you mate, I want to watch back the stream because you were genuinely like, oh, Eshor, where even were you? And then you looked and noticed he was exactly where he was supposed to be, and you just went like,
Ooh, what you
Oh.
say?
Yeah. Ooh, that you only meant well.
but yeah, I think that as much as I'm currently not really liking Paladin that much, I if people don't want Eshor to tank, I'll continue to tank, and if Eshor wants to continue playing Machinist, I'll just play Paladin. It's not
As long as he is not purposefully killing people,
I mean-
I'm fine.
he's going to purposely kill people.
Yeah,
Yeah, then I'm not fine with it.
but Emma, I can actually kill you as a machinist too if you want.
Don't.
She doesn't. That's what she's
You are-
saying.
Then you're going into the bin, you're kicked.
So I have
Relationship.
literally the power to do it, but I haven't done it as much as I could.
Friendship with Eshor has ended. Max is Machinist now.
Yeah, that will happen. Yeah.
Get
Oh,
Crow
God.
on Machinist.
Yeah.
But no, like I have always been the sort of person that feels in every raid group. So I'll just play Paladin.
Yeah.
It has too many cooldowns to be replaced. Like, have you seen my healing percentiles with just Divine Veil?
Yeah, why aren't other paladins using Divine Veil?
Because they're not as good as me, obviously.
I actually learned to use the Divine Veil in 09, I think. I learned to actually use Divine Veil on literally cooldown almost,
Yeah.
because it's so fucking nice.
The only problem is when I use it on the birds and I don't get healed for like 50 seconds, and I'm looking at it and it has a 30-second duration on me, and I'm watching it go down, and I'm like, do do.
But do you want my macro? I have one.
No, I don't want no macro. To be honest, I just go,
Use your
Luke.
macros, no thanks.
Go, Luke, heal me, please, and
I sometimes do it.
If it feels like it.
I mean,
Or
to
he
be
will say,
fair,
my parse is going down if I do that. Fuck you.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, a lot of the time when I put it out, there should be an AoE shield going out anyway. Like, I try to put it up for the start of the fight, and I try to put it up for, the bit where everyone gets teleported off and, like...
Yeah.
And then after that, I just kind of wing it, because after that, the fight doesn't matter anymore.
Nah.
Like, ad phase, I'm kind of... I put it on us for during ad phase. Well, not you, Eshor. You're on your own.
Yeah.
You're in the bin.
Yeah.
In the bin, using tactician, trying to survive.
Yeah.
In the bin, even though your side kills it faster.
Literally
Not that time.
hiding in the bin. I was
Not the last time though. Not the last time though.
I mean, we're all popping off in our own way.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Don't put Eshor on tank. Or healer, please.
I mean,
But then
Yeah,
I know you trust me literally on the tank too.
I
Or-
know. If you're doing things seriously, it's fine.
I mean,
You
I
and
don't
you and
mind...
Eshor can heal together next year.
No, Kata's gonna heal next
Yeah,
year. What
where's
are you
Kata?
talking?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, Kata's gonna play White Mage. She's gonna DPS.
Oh yeah, white.
But
mage.
actually, me and Emma was actually a good healing pair when we actually healed together.
Yeah.
We did really good together.
Yeah.
So in reality, Eshor's actually good on all classes, and even if he memes around a little bit, things do get done.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, we have this sort of relationship where we're like being really fucking mean to each other, but
That's me and Luke.
we do actually care, yeah.
He doesn't care about me though. He wouldn't even
bullies me.
spoon with me.
Man, I wouldn't
Oh my
spin
God.
with you, but he bullies
But
me.
Nixie, if you're gonna spoon Luke, he will be in the middle. You in the front, and will be in the back,
Oh god.
and we can snag him
Definitely
to sleep.
Definitely not.
But
Luke is like no.
but I'm the big spoon.
But
Eshor is the biggest spoon.
I don't care how tall he is.
okay, I can be in front, Luke in the middle, and you in the back then.
Sounds ideal.
Why am I in this?
Not in the bin,
don't-
in the bed.
I don't give consent. I'm but a
Because you
child.
Then you
Yeah,
won't feel lonely anymore.
But he is a minor, man.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
You're not.
I made minor.
He can mine himself in the middle.
He's best in slot minor.
Hmm. Man, I'm doing the shitty minor quests, achievements.
Oh.
But so I've got another little question about to you, Eshor, because you've been in Lalafell since the very beginning, right?
He's changed sometimes.
Well,
so.
yeah, but like I've
At
changed
heart.
once as well, but I've always been Nixie, and Nixie is a Lalafell. How do you feel about other Lalafells?
For me, Lalafells are the best race in this game.
Boo.
Boo.
Man. But small characters in general for me has always been my main, because it feels much nicer to actually play them because of the animation. I like the animation more on the small characters more than the long
lie.
ones.
I completely agree with that. I think that when playing my elf, every animation felt like really like muted, but then when I play my Lalafell, it's like yeah.
The Lalafell seems more lively than the other classes in that regard.
But there is one thing I don't like.
Yeah, the glam.
No, I like the glam.
Huh?
Most of my glams fit my small Nixie way better than they fit big Nixie.
Yeah,
No, the issue I have is actually most other Lalafell players.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the type that stand there spamming their emote just to be loud and annoying. Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I really hate the people that are like, oh, let's do Lalafell only 24-man raid. And I'm like, why?
I'm actually a part of a Discord group that they're actually doing that, and they're doing some gatherings and things like that. But I think the problem, the thing that it actually happened is because mostly all players that doesn't play Lalafell have the Lalafell as their target that they bully the most.
I mean, true enough, but it feels to me that the Lalafells like a lot of Lalafells that are like that they see themselves as being like this race that
We are the master race. That's
Nah.
of course. But...
No.
So you are one of the Lalafells that goes
Yeah,
and does Lalafell
Well, I'm
only
not
con-
the annoying one. I actually enjoy people playing with people as an but yeah, the group I'm actually a part of is really good people,
They might be,
helping
but
each other. If you say it like that, there are many Nixies in this part where many are mentors. They're actually helping people, taking new people, and everything like that. And they don't have to be Lalafell either.
But that's my thing. There's a lot of parties out there that are like, oh, we're doing like Lalafell only things, and I'm like, but that just seems. It seems like they're like asking to be discriminated against, essentially.
Yeah, but you can say that to Mikota and Aura players too, because there are people that are going for the most sluttiest glam they can and doing things like that too.
Of course, but those people. Well, but then again, the slightly Lalafells are actually the worst.
Yeah,
Like absolutely. But I agree with those people being bad. But the issue is, like those people usually stay around like their main city and they just talk in their limpsa and don't really like venture out to bother other people. But when you see a huge group of Lalafells, they are aiming to be annoying most of the time.
I've actually have been in a group that in a dungeon finder. It was me and there were two other Lalafells, and there was Rogadin, I think. I literally hate Rogadins, by the way, but that wasn't the case in this. But the Rogadin was the tank.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the best player or something like that, but
No, because that's me.
the thing is that the other players I was playing with, they were playing together, both Lalafells, and there was like, "You're bad at tanking because you're a fucking Rogadin," blah blah blah, and I was like sitting about what?
Mm-hmm.
And actually was asking why are you it's saying that his tanking is because he's a freaking just because it's race.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later actual vote kick was for the Rogadin popped up.
Yeah, of course.
And so I literally pressed no directly.
Of course.
I was so angry at that point.
Yeah, I genuinely think that Lalafell players, they come in two styles. They come in the style where they're like normal, and they come in the style where they're just like, oh well, like you're not a Lalafell, so I clearly don't like you, and it's just like, what on earth are you doing?
And
like,
I just say, thank God I only met those people in a dungeon.
Yeah, like genuinely, like I have this, like I've had many Lalafell friends because when you're a Lala, like it happens.
Yeah.
Like you can't really get away with it. But at the same time, I've also had the most problem with Lalafells in the game and people who say like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this, but only Lalafells," and I'm like, just why?
The only time I actually have met only Lalafell is when they are putting out on the Discord that we are trying to make a full 24-man Lalafell raid. Mostly, actually, in this case, for the meme. Like,
well,
think of 24 Lalafells running to the boss fight. Charge!
But I prefer, like, in terms of that, I prefer going more like 24 tanks or 24 white mages or something, rather than.
Or we do an expert raid as only tanks.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I think that it's better to go for like classes and stuff like that rather than going races, because, in my opinion, the race of a character doesn't actually impact anything.
Nah, it doesn't.
So, like, people excluding playing with other people, it just feels really dodgy, in my opinion.
But I think this is actually on the personality of the player too, because if they have the feeling that, I want to be a whole other person, which is the best thing to be to be another person is actually in an MMO and being on the internet.
Yeah, of course.
You usually meet a player that's exactly the same as how he plays. Actually, if you meet him or her in IRL.
That's Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my friend Dean. He is normal human with brown hair, and he wears shorts and a t-shirt in game. Yep, and he wears his fedora on his head. He's had the same one since Stormblood.
Oh my god.
Yep.
He's the first.
No, he is. And his name in game was the same as his name in real life.
Wow.
Like, his first and last name, and it was just like, okay. Yep.
Is this his first MMO too?
No, he's been playing MMOs for years. Since old school RuneScape.
Oh god.
Yeah, but that's Dean.
We all have our playstyles, so.
Yeah, his playstyle was sitting in town and selling things. Just like in real life when he sells Yu-Gi-Oh cards to little kids.
Yeah.
So he plays the same character in game as he is in real life.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But he's like the only one. Everyone else is like, yeah, I'm gonna play something magical.
Well, if the usual personality I will give to my characters when I'm playing, like my little Lalafell here, Eshor, he is this little thing that like to actually tease people or make them suffer.
Or stand under people's skirts.
Well,
fall under teasing.
You're standing there and it's raining. I need an umbrella. You're perfect for that.
I vote sexual harassment.
Don't worry, Me Too doesn't exist in Final Fantasy yet.
Or does it?
That's what Party Finder is for.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, could you imagine?
Party Finder PvP.
So that's my job. So Nixie is mostly airheaded and a little bit fat. That's about as far as her personality goes.
There you go, then.
Yeah, but since she switched to tank, I have to play like super. Like I never used to wear tanky gear, and then all of a sudden, after playing tank, even my white mage is tanky now. But yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I used to. Nixie used to be sleepy. I used to wear the pajamas all the time. But that changed. But slight deviation and questions, but like you always want me to climb that stupid tower in Kugane.
It's a nice tower, especially when you get to the best part of it, being up.
How did you become so good at climbing things?
Well, I haven't been always good in those kind of puzzles. But if I don't remember which game it started with, but you know all the platform puzzles and everything like that.
Yeah.
Most of those games was kind of relaxing for me to actually do.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually started to do things like that shouldn't even be possible in some games, and was like, "Hey, this is fun. I wonder if I can do this or this or this or
Yeah.
this." So if you take Oblivion
Oh yeah.
as an example, I actually made a thief and assassin with maxed acrobatic, agility, or everything like that. I could actually jump in the right spots on the because the in the big city in the middle where you have the
Imperial
giant
city,
walls,
whatever. Yeah.
you could find invisible spots to actually stand on the wall.
Oh wow.
No.
And I found everyone, so I could actually jump up to the highest part of the wall.
That's
Mhm.
so.
Oh, wow, that's
You've
great.
always been someone who is really good at trial and error and like patient with that kind of thing.
Yeah, because when I dedicate myself to actually try to do something, then I actually try everything to make it possible. And if I can't make it possible, then then it then it is as it should be.
Okay.
But when I was trying out the first Jungle Puzzle in Rutgers Reach,
Oh yeah.
I sucked terribly.
Mhm.
It took me an hour to get up the first time.
So essentially, it's practice is the
Yeah.
answer.
I
Okay.
found the best thing on the Rutgers Reach puzzle that I noticed was jumping it sideways.
Yes.
When I
I'm
did
the
that the
exact
first
same.
time, I got up almost instantly.
Yep. People used to question why I was jumping like that, but I used to play with a lot of controller people that were doing the jumping puzzles. So
Yep.
they were not able to do my side jump technique, and they would be like, "What are you doing? Why are you like doing it like that?" And I'm just like, "This is easy."
Yeah, and then when the Leap of Faith came out,
Oh yeah.
I actually have the power to actually do it that way too.
Yeah.
So I got pretty good, and then when you have done Leap of Faith a few times, you actually learn where all the spots is for the cactors, the bronze, silver, and the gold.
Yeah, you do.
So I saw exactly the pattern when I came in, and then I just sprinted out and just jump. And I was the first one to actually get to the end with everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You're
Uh,
crazy.
I think I was done around 1 minute or 15 seconds or something like that.
That's pretty good.
That's one of my best runs ever in Leap of Faith.
You're. I think you're really good at games. Like, hmm.
Well, he's old, so
Yeah, but then his skill should have decreased with age.
he's not that old.
I guess,
Or
but
is he?
I don't know. Like,
So if he's still older than me.
10 days.
Yep.
fair enough. I'm more impressed with you by the minute, I guess. But one last question, I guess. We have time for one last thing.
Yeah.
We do.
If you could change or add or remove anything from Final Fantasy, what would it be?
It's a hard question, actually.
That's why
But
we ask it.
to be honest, I want actually the fights to literally take on the off tank and the healers more in raids.
Yes.
Because I don't want to see healers heal. I mean, DPS. They should heal all the fucking time. That's the really way for a healer to actually play. You shouldn't be
Agreed.
80% DPSing and 20% healing. That's not how
Well,
it should work.
so Luke, how many healing GCDs do you spend on average in a fight?
Healing GCDs.
Yeah.
Not many at all.
How many times do you cast like a actual like benefit 2 on me in or on anyone?
Never. Benefic 2 never gets casts. No, I never ever cast it.
And that's
I
meant to be your
essentially
bread
bring
and
it in.
butter main heal,
Yeah.
right?
It's either insta heals or if I'm doing casting like a shield.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
that's actually a kind of sad because we're doing savage raids and everything, and the damage isn't enough because the off tank can only focus on actually DPSing.
I mean, in the first fight, the off tank does the most.
Yeah, but if
And,
you don't actually see the bird in the fight, what are the off tank doing in that fight except for
The
that bird?
shield.
The charge thing.
The charge thing, yeah.
Yeah, we
So
didn't.
it literally for the off tank it got 2 jobs in that fight.
Yeah.
And I
mean, the
literally
main tank
think
does
that
even less. The main tank just stands there and pops a single cooldown on critical and blow, and tries to center the boss.
Yeah, so for me, literally in that part, because of the changes they did to the aggro, the tanks have actually could just slack off a whole freaking fight, literally.
Well, what about the fact that on Shiva last week, I didn't pop a cooldown because my hollow ground was too late, and I survived the hardest hitting tank buster in the game with just feint from Dragoon.
Yeah.
It should have killed me instantly because I didn't have a cooldown. It should have done like 300k damage or something, but it just doesn't. I don't understand why why tanks don't have any jobs this tier, and even to the point where a mechanic starts. Like, let's say in the final fight where the spell Light Rampant is cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She either goes to the middle herself. I don't have to move her there. I do literally nothing. Like, the only time I have to position her is when I need to know whether she needs to be facing
ass or
tits. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only time I actually have to position her on that whole fight.
Because mostly in Final Fantasy you have all the nice mechanics to do, but they're not actually perfect for the raids.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think when we did the God Kafka unsynced, that's the first time, except for 04, that I literally felt like, wow.
Yeah.
This is actually a boss fight.
And the healing in there required, like the fact that Luke solo healed it still impresses me.
Yeah, like when I was going in there solo heal, I was going, I'm not DPSing. I'm pretty sure I still kept 100% dot uptime. But
yeah, well, I mean the dot, like sure, but you're not
exactly.
like casting.
I wasn't casting exactly. No, I had to heal, and it felt good.
Yeah, that's the best part of being a healer, where you feel that you can feel, yeah, I'm doing something good in this fight as my main spec.
But now it's all about parses for everyone. Like, you're like, oh, my DPS, you know?
Yeah, but if we say it like this, the healer should always focus on their healing. The tank should always focusing on the threat and doing the mechanics extremely well. And the DPS, the only thing they should focus on, except doing the things correctly with the tactics, they should always provide the highest DPS as they can do by themselves.
It's actually something I kind of I wish that it was. I wish it was feasible to raid without ACT. Like, without anyone using it and without anyone focusing on it. But the problem is with Astro and Dancer being how they are, you need to know the damage numbers. Because if you're buffing the wrong people, you're just limiting your group's ability to actually kill the boss.
Yeah.
Especially with DPS checks being as tight as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I genuinely wish we could play without it. Like, I haven't opened it, like ACT, in a long time. Like, I only open it when I'm on my own near a training dummy just to test what I can do on my class. Because I genuinely believe that I don't need it. And as much as, like, it's nice to know if I'm doing okay, as long as the boss dies each week, I don't really care.
I actually like ACT for the with the part that I actually can improve myself and see it with numbers too, and not because it felt nice. It felt nice this time, and then if I had the ACT on in that part, it was like, oh, it's worse.
Yeah, like
I mean that flag got better at the game.
Of course, it needs to be in the game because of the fact that it's if you're trying to play without it, you're playing in a vacuum. You don't know what's working, what's not working. Like the game doesn't really go out of its way to try to help you like improve on your class. You have to kind of figure it out for yourself, which can be good. But when the rotations are as tight as they are, and like getting that little bit of DPS in a like cheesy way is sometimes necessary.
The time where I'm starting using ACT was when we did the 09S, because we were a little lacking DPS.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't survive. And
oh, you mean Chaos?
Yeah.
Oh,
3 months of frogging.
I want to die.
1 hour of progging.
Well, the sad part is we're doing everything so perfectly, and then one person is like, "Hey, I'm gonna do the wrong thing now."
But not only that, we also had another problem.
Yeah, I actually had to heal myself, survive the tank battle and things like that. Was like,
I mean, the person who was healing wasn't like really. It wasn't really their actual main healer class.
Yeah.
It was on Astro, but like I tried giving tips and stuff, but
it
I don't
didn't
know
work.
if it was too much, maybe at that point at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I feel like the game as it currently is, and as they slowly remove more and more of the technical side of raiding, like they removed accuracy, they've removed aggro, they've removed lining up all of the buffs, kind of. I know there's still a little bit of it, but it's no longer as like, oh, everything needs to line up with trick attack. Like, as time has gone on, it feels a lot more like the game expects more from you in terms of damage, but in terms of mechanics, they've removed so much of so much of it, even the most annoying mechanics. Like, for example, you won't ever get a fight anymore that is like A9 where you have to place the generators. Because people would complain about uptime and make like complaints about it, which it really feels kind of bad when there is way less of that that like challenging, like, okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we progging what was his name? The big robot in A9.
Is Nixie lagging for everyone?
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys.
It's okay.
Uh
From Heaven's Ward, and then you looking at the bosses for on Stormblood, and then you're checking on the in Shadowbringers. You see literally a line where mostly the things, the DPS checks is higher, but the difficulty is actually getting lowered.
yeah.
When I looked at the O12S, I was like, "Oh, hello world!" Everyone's dying. If people can even see what the fuck they were doing because they just got obliterated to pieces.
Yeah.
And then you're checking, oh, Shiva. Let's see. You got a tether, you got a chain. Let's see. We have two things. We have some platforms standing on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more about precision, I think, in this one. Like,
yeah. It's a
to
coordination of people to do things right instead of actually dodging and doing the mechanics correctly. I will say.
Am I still lagging?
I don't know.
Okay.
Try talking.
So my thing with Shiva is it feels a lot more like it feels like that they've tried to put so many mechanics there and like so many different things happening at once to overwhelm you, but in reality it leads to there being only one or two solutions. Like there isn't a big moment of like what do we even do here? Like where are people supposed to be? It's more like there's only two different ways this could actually go. So which way are we gonna handle it? And I think that it feels. I mean, I can't say for the later stages of that fight because we've not been there, but it feels a lot like the first phase, at least, is very. It's very scripted. Like once we get it down, like once we cleared it once today, it clicked for people a lot more, and it was like, okay, we can probably just do this more consistently now. Like.
Yeah, I got the feeling too after the last try, actually.
Yeah, of just like, oh well, like now that people have done it, we can probably continue to do it because we've done it. Like, and I feel like that's kind of the issue I have with it is that entire first phase, besides like one or two things, it doesn't actually feel like it's going to be a challenge. Like now, like it was more of a conceptual challenge. Like what are the timings? Like when do we do this? How do we do this? And once we have it down, it's like, well, there's only one way to do it. So if you've got this thing, you do it like this. You know, I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure about how I feel about that fight so far. It's the same with the birds. You know, like there's only one way to really handle the mechanics there, and I don't know. It feels.
The fight almost seems empty when you learned after you learn a fight in this tier, it feels so empty.
Yeah, whereas even in like last tier, for example, Eden was still like really crazy and fun to do because of like how much movement was required and like, oh, we all need to stack up here to take the big laser beams and there's the triple tank buster thing, and then E2 was like a nightmare, like every single pull.
E2 sucked.
I loved it.
But I actually have to say, but if you're looking at the first 4 bosses in this expansion, tanks actually have to do things like together to make it work. It was a bit of more healing.
Oh yeah.
And the DPS checks was actually kind of neat.
Yeah.
But it feels like that they got to complain because the first tier is so hard and everything like that, so they have to freaking nerf the second tier mostly because of that. Because when they started the first 4 bosses, I was literally in love with them from the beginning.
Me too.
But the first boss was like with the mega cutscene was like, shoot me. But
we had a lot of fun there.
Yeah. But even if you look at it in this way, if you didn't have that cutscene, I don't think the fight wouldn't be possible to do.
Why?
In the beginning, because the DPS you actually have get to do because you get everything actually from the start, so you have all your openers, everything like that, so you can just do the mega burst again.
Yeah.
Because it is a really tight DPS check, even with if you didn't have that opener. I don't think it would be possible in the beginning without gear.
Possibly, yeah. I think that the other thing I really like about Eden, the first boss, is it felt like even like at the start, like there was so much movement and so much like optimization you could do as a party to like keep uptime and stuff. Like even personal uptime, like you know when you would drop the puddle.
Yeah.
Like we had our one of our melees basically stay like on the boss, so the spot under the boss was really tight, but like it allowed for 100% uptime on our one melee, and like stuff like that. It just felt like there was a lot more ways to improve as a party, and like the movement in there actually felt like good to do. Like the only fight that we go into now, and I'm like, I can't wait to do the movement in, is the second one. Like the movement in that fight is so fun compared to everything else this tier.
Oh, I can't. I just looking back when we did the reclear this week. Oh god, the 1% wipe.
But that's fun.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we can do it. We can do this. And the DPS is so freaking high. Everyone is so hyped, and wow, it's 39% was like, oh, we are in this phase, and it's almost dead. What the f? Like, and then, oh no, you hear from Asana, and then we don't have a safe spot anymore. We're gonna die.
Yeah.
And we had an LB3 with 1% left on the boss.
Yeah.
I should have LB tanked.
We wouldn't have survived anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, in fact, I actually think we would have actually
Tank
survived
LB
that.
allows us to survive pretty much anything, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that
But-
kind of sucked.
No, but that's like half of the fun. Dying to stupid things and just laughing about it.
Or when we did, it was the E7, right? When we did, we had 0.1% wipes 2 times.
Yep,
Yeah.
before we re-cleared it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
But that's like raiding
so
shouldn't be
tight.
perfect. No, it's not.
No.
No,
I
it's not.
actually love. It was really really fun.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just, to be honest, I just love spending time with you guys.
Same.
Like as you said earlier, Eshor, that like meeting us was like one of the greatest things about Shadowbringers. Well, as I told Emma, I think meeting you guys was like the greatest thing to happen to me since like 2016. Like
Nice.
I started the game and I met my first group of friends who I'm still friends with, and then like the last like 2 years has been kinda shitty, and then like now I've met you guys and everything is like, I meet Emma and everything is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, boy.
It's all good though.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I just want this to continue forever.
Say.
Like I know that there are things going on that are probably going to end up stopping some of it. Like
We
Are you
always
talking
get
about my
our
job?
real life.
a little bit. Like I know you've got real life stuff going on, and I know that other people probably have
I'm
real.
gonna make time for it.
I know, but obviously, like, it's going to be a lot harder, and you're going to be a lot more tired and stuff. Like,
I will manage.
I know you will, but like,
She's not old yet, like me and Seth.
Yeah, I'm old.
you're not old at all. None of you are. You crazy fuckers.
Oh yeah, how are we on time?
We're way over,
Way over.
Oh god. Okay.
so we can
Whoopsie.
end whenever you want. We're just, we just.
We should
cool.
probably wrap it up then, so people are like won't be tired of listening to us.
Sorry.
Very fair.
We're only about 12 minutes over, but yeah, we should call it here.
Yep.
It was wonderful to have you on, Eshor, and
Thanks for letting me join.
we'll probably have you on in the future. We might have you and Seth on at some point, because
God.
I feel like there's some conversations there that'll be nice. I kind of want to try to capture Sana next week, if possible, or maybe
Yeah.
Max. I don't know. We'll talk about things more. Like, this is like the post show. Like, we should be having this after we stop recording. But
Yeah.
good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Good
Good night.
night.
Thanks for
Night-night.
watching. Bye.
Bye.